and welcome back to the land of Chanz. This is the video that I've been waiting to do. It's my recovery video. I did film one the other day, but I've been really rubbish lately, and I don't think that video really kind of put over what I wanted it to, so I decided to refilm it now while I'm feeling a bit brighter, and I can probably talk about the recovery in a bit of a different way. So I had my operation on the 31st of May. If you don't know what I had that operation for, then please go back and watch my epilepsy video and it will explain there what I was having done. So when I had my surgery, I went up to Bristol with my best friend Hannah, my partner Denham, and my mum Julie. So we all went up to Bristol. It was an early start. I knew that it was going to be happening at some point throughout that day. I didn't have an actual kind of surgery time. I was just told to get there for 10 o'clock in the morning, and then it would happen by the end of that day. So when I got there, I had to have some more tests done. They had already done my bloods previously in my pre-op, so when I got there they told me that my blood was all clear and it was okay to go ahead, and I found out that I'm AB positive blood, which is quite unusual. So that was the first kind of unusual part of the day. So to find out that I was AB positive blood, apparently it can happen with people that have any type of genetic, or it's more common with people that have a genetic illness, and it's not proven yet, but polymicrogyria can be down to your genetics. So yeah, there's a little bit of fact for you. So yeah, I carried on the rest of the morning going through the tests. It was just your usual kind of blood pressure, height, weight, all that kind of stuff, and then I had to wait around for them to be ready to do the surgery. So the surgeon came and saw me, and I do know him. He was at Bristol Children's Hospital before and he met me there, and then he also did a campaign with me that I was working on in regards to epilepsy within the workplace and at school. So it was really nice that he was doing my surgery, because I knew I was in good hands and he knew how long I've been waiting for getting something done. So it was really lovely to be feeling like I was in safe hands. Everything before the surgery was normal. I think I dealt with it really well. I wasn't crying or anything like that. I was pretty straight-headed, and I think I dealt with it well. Yeah, so when I went down for my surgery, which I think was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I found the going to sleep part a lot easier than I thought I would. That was probably the part I was most scared of, was the whole going to sleep process, because I've never had it before and I didn't know what to expect, and I'd heard lots of horror stories. So I was a bit scared, but I really didn't know that it happened, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, during the surgery, this is all stuff that now I've learned afterwards, obviously, because I wasn't the one doing the surgery. During the surgery, I lost quite a lot of blood from my neck area. They are obviously dealing with quite important veins here and arteries, and yeah, I lost quite a bit of blood, and just by bad luck there was a girl that was in there before me who also had AB positive blood, so they were kind of lacking on blood of that type. That obviously they would have got more if they needed it, but I didn't need any kind of blood transfusion or anything like that. It was just the fact that I ended up not waking up quite so quickly because I had lost more blood than expected, and obviously I was then more dehydrated and everything was just taking a little bit longer. So what was due to be a 1.5 hour operation, I don't even think it was 1.5 hours, I think it was possibly 1 hour, but it ended up being 2.5 hours anyway, for the duration of time that I was actually down with the surgery team. I don't know whether all of that was spent within surgery, but I was with them a lot longer than expected anyway. So that meant that because it was needed for me to stay in hospital for 6 hours afterwards to make sure that nothing drastic happened and that they could try and get all of my levels back up and things, that I actually didn't get to return home until about 1 o'clock in the morning the following day, which was pretty tough because I just had quite full-on surgery. So I literally got home and fell on my bed. But one thing I do have to say is a humongous thank you to Hannah especially, because she didn't need to stay. It wasn't her duty, and she was there with me through every step. She was holding my hand, she was giving me hugs, she stayed with me right until we came home, and you don't find even many best friends that would do such a thing, so massive thank you to her. And then obviously a huge thank you to my mum, Julie, and Denham, my partner, and anyone that helped me during that surgery process, because it was really tough for all of us. We've all been waiting such a long time, and I spoke to people on the phone after I left the hospital and they were all lovely, and I just want to say a massive big thank you and a big heart. And I also got so many messages as well, so thank you. After I came home the next day after the surgery, I kind of woke up. My mum and dad weren't here then because I'd come back to this home with Denham and slept overnight. They came to see me in the afternoon, and because I was going to go back and stay with my parents, and as I got up to go and like see them for 5 minutes and then get my stuff ready, I started to turn around and tell my mum I felt really dizzy and sick, and I ended up being sick and dizzy, and I fell on the bathroom floor and had a seizure. So that wasn't very good, was it, Chantal? But luckily I didn't hurt myself in any way, and I didn't hurt any of the dressings or anything. But I needed to get the ambulance to come out and check on me just to make sure that everything was all right. But the ambulance team just said that they thought it was probably due to the fact that I had lost a bit more blood than expected. I was very dehydrated, and I was probably just getting up a bit too quick. I needed to stay in bed. So after that I was very much on in bed time, or on the sofa, and my parents looked after me. I stayed with them for about 2 weeks. Denham was also great. He looked after me and helped take me out when I felt ready, and so on and so forth. So obviously the VNS wasn't switched on straight away, it was just in there. I will now show you kind of what I have been left with at the moment. Obviously this is like 4 weeks on, so we're quite far down the line now, but you can see this is where it is, and you can see my scar there, and then this is where the wiring is, so you can see my scar there. So these have obviously changed over time. They're a lot less red and a lot less sore than they were when I first came out of the hospital and started to recover. I couldn't move my neck, and I couldn't talk very much, which is probably a blessing for everyone. But it was painful and it was annoying. With this turn up, I've been finding that it's been hurting a bit. It's really hard to describe because it doesn't hurt, it's just not comfortable when I use it, and it's it's just getting used to it. It's just one of those things. It will be beneficial eventually. I've been feeling pretty down recently because to begin with I could feel it lots. Now I barely feel it at all, and it's not as effective when I'm having a seizure, or I think I'm having a seizure, but that's probably just because my body is getting used to it. I'm not saying it's not effective at all, because it is, but it's just not, I'm not noticing as much. And I've also, I think like the biggest part of my recovery hasn't been physical, it's been mental. Because I've still got epilepsy, I've still got polymicrogyria, I've still got sclerosis of the hippocampus. Everything that was in my epilepsy video is still there. So even though I've had this operation, it's not really, I'm not really any different to how I was before. I've just got something that's going to help me along a little bit. And that's been tough to kind of get people, I know people haven't been mean with it, but to get people to realise that this wasn't the like amazing cure, because it wasn't, it's never gonna be, but it is helping, or it will help. But it's just been trying to get people to realise that, and that I needed time as well. And I think also just on a personal level, especially within the past couple of weeks, it's been really, I've been really struggling with self-confidence, because I have put on a bit of weight since the operation, and before the operation, because I had to stop doing my routines. I've been feeling quite like withdrawn because of the scar on my neck, because of it being summer here. Obviously everyone's out in nice clothes and I just want to cover up, so that's been a bit difficult, and it's just like you don't feel sexy, and I mean, like, it sounds terrible, but you want to feel nice when you're a girl and a woman, and I've not been feeling that way. I mean, I've got one on my neck and then I've got one at the top of my breast basically, and I'm sure any woman that's gone through any type of breast surgery, or which I'm sure is a lot worse, but anything that affects the kind of female areas of your body, it can make you feel a bit rubbish. So yeah, I think that's just what I've been struggling with of most recent, and not having the routine that I had before, so not keeping your mind on certain stuff. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. That's an update on my recovery, and I hope you enjoyed hearing it. I'm sure it was very boring, but for those of you that were interested, thank you for listening through it. And if you want to ask any questions, then please leave them below and I will do my best to answer them. I hope you're all well, and I send all my love and kisses and all sparkle and I will see you all soon. Thanks, bye.